All right, let's dive into who the hell is Dr. B. Yep, that's me. Who is this guy? Who's Brian Hughes? Who's Dr. Brian Hughes? Who's Dr. B? Dr. Hughes? Well, beyond, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a chiro, I am a businessman and entrepreneur and coach. Let me give you a little history of really who the hell I am. I'm a guy who did it all right. Graduated high school, went to college, became a doctor, and then I found a girl. And then I got married. I opened up a practice. I had a successful practice. I had kids. I got a mortgage, got a couple car payments. I did it all right. Societally, that's what I was supposed to do. I checked all the boxes. And I know some of you guys can relate. I was on top of the world. I thought it was awesome. My ego was in full force. Very successful young doctor, scaled an office really quickly, was teaching others how to do it. I thought I was awesome until everything came crashing down on me. I was unhappy. I was unfulfilled. I didn't love myself. Led me into audits, losing $435,000. It led me to bankruptcy. It led me to alcoholism. It led me to almost a divorce with my wife, Teresa. It led me to a very, very dark place where I found myself holding a 9mm in my hand, wondering if I even want to be here or not. And I tell you this because going from one end of the spectrum to the other and surrendering everything, driving cars back to dealerships and just being completely exposed, that ego that was driving and fueling everything in my life, it was actually making me a shitty husband and a shitty father and a shitty person and an alcoholic. I hated myself. I didn't love myself. I hated who I was. Should have heard the dialogue going on in my head at that time. And I know some of you guys listening and watching this can relate. Now, when I was in this pit, the depth of the darkness, my ego was shattered. Like the ego was gone. I tell everyone I felt like I walked outside just naked. I'm like, here I am. This is all I got. Take it or leave it. And so God took me to this place for a reason, and in the middle of it, I did not know. And I have a saying now, because of that, is that it won't make sense until it makes sense. So if you're going through something right now, just know that. It ain't gonna make sense until it'll make sense. But in this place, I remember I didn't know who I was anymore. I didn't even know why I was married. I don't even know why I had kids. I didn't even know why I was a doctor. I had no clue who I was. There was no identity. There was no purpose. There was no passion in my life. I had no clue. Who am I? What am I here for? Why do I even have a heartbeat? What am I supposed to be doing? I even thought life and the concept of it was dumb. It's because I was dying inside. The old me had to die. And even though I felt like I was dying at the time, it took me years after that to realize that actually it's exactly what needed to happen. I was dying. The old Brian was dying so that I could be rebirthed into a new version. The version that God put me on this earth to be, that I was called to be, that I was chosen to be, that I continued to be distracted and I continued to veer away from, that I had to be in control. My ego had to control everything. And I knew exactly what I was doing. Get out of the way, God. Get out of the way, universe. I got this. Step aside. So, the reason I'm telling you this is because I want you to know that, hey, I went from the pit and the depth and the darkness to being full of passion, and purpose, and fulfillment. I went from being broke and bankrupt to running and operating different businesses and multiple millions of dollars. I tell you this because I went from a fat alcoholic to fit and lean and healthy and a body that I'm proud of and a body that feels powerful and strong. I went from being a little bitch and a victim in life to being a beast and a boss. And through this whole process, the reason why I'm explaining this to you is because out of all the men I've worked with inside the arena or coaching them one-on-one or other platforms that I've worked with, everybody has a story. Everyone has a story of something in their life, and we either are going to utilize it to fuel us and to drive and leverage it, or we're going to let it burn us down to the ground. It's going to fuel a fire inside of you to go, or it's going to burn you down to the ground. Don't let it sit inside of you and just eat you alive. Be with it, expose it, live it, breathe it. I say this because of the men I've worked with, I know that I'm not alone. And some of you guys are watching this right now, you're like, holy shit, man, I've experienced 6 of those things you said. I get it. I just don't talk about it. I keep grinding. I'm going at it. And I'm telling you that stop doing this alone. Moving forward with this, I'm telling you this because I know it's relevant to a lot of you guys watching. And I want you to know that I've been there and it's real and it's super painful. And now we show men how to utilize their situations, their circumstances, as shitty as they may seem in the moment, to turn that into fuel to produce and leverage every arena of your life. So what I want you to do, if you are hearing what I'm saying, you're liking what I'm saying, I want you to subscribe. or head on over to Instagram. All my platforms are at Dr. Brian Hughes. Send me a DM. Let's open up a conversation, because I'm telling you right now that the most amazing thing that I did in the pit of the darkness is a simple reach out to a few different people. And all you know what they did? They reached right down and they grabbed me and they pulled and they taught me how to utilize all the pain and how I could leverage it all. And over the past decade, this is what I've built. So stay tuned.